Hi everyone, Sam Wenzel here, and today I'm going to do another review on the Solo Stove. I've done a previous one where I was using it along the banks of the Pakwak River in Nova Scotia, but I wanted to talk to you about it again and show you a little bit more of the features. We've actually had both of these stoves for a while. My family, we like it so much that we own two among us. And so while this one's going and I'm brewing a cup of tea, good time of day for tea, it's always time for tea, I want to talk to you about the features of the Solo Stove. So when you get them, they come with this nice nylon drawstring pouch. And I like the pouch because where you get soot and ash in the stove, and you can clean it out as much as you like, but you're still going to have some in there. If you throw it back in your backpack after using it, or whatever you're carrying it in, it keeps the rest of your stuff from getting black from the fire. So I like it for that reason. And it is somewhat compact. Obviously there are some other stoves out there that are more compact than this, but I'm a big fan of this one, and I'll show you why. So when you get it, or when you take it out of the pouch, it looks like this. And inside, you have the frame that you put your pots on. So you set it up like that, and as you see here, it keeps your pots up, but it gives you this nice space to feed your twigs through, feed your fuel in. So as I mentioned in the previous video, that this is a wood gasifying stove. So you burn things like twigs, dead twigs that you find on the ground, or preferably dry twigs that are up off the ground. I'm just going to take a second and keep this one fed. But of course you can also buy things or make things that allow you to put alcohol in the Solo Stove, especially if it's a dry time of the year and you don't want to risk fire, although this is a pretty contained system usually. So on the inside, I don't know what you can see in the camera, but we have all these holes on the inside. On the top, there's a grate that allows some space between your fuel that's burning, and it allows some air to stay below it. And you also have these air holes along the bottom that brings air in, and I mentioned that some people refer to it as a wood gasifying stove. And the reason being is, as you have your fire burning, the air that gets sucked into here and the smoke actually gets heated up and burnt even more, like it increases the temperature, so it actually becomes more efficient. So not only are you putting lots of air in underneath and above, which of course we all know fire needs air to burn, but it's heating it up and using it to help create the heat that you need to boil water. I've had this water on for a couple minutes. Let's just lift the lid and take a look. It's actually starting to boil. So depending on the fuel you have, the type of day you have, temperature wise and humidity, I find that I can boil a liter of water, or in this case we've got about 2 cups worth in a very short period of time. So a liter would take a little bit longer than this, but I've got the 2 cups almost at a rolling boil, so I'll have to keep feeding it, and it's only been a few minutes, and I haven't been feeding it that well. Now there's not too much in the way of welds that you can see on it, so it's a pretty sturdy stove. It's gonna stay. We've actually been using this one for a few years now. This one was purchased last year, and it's been holding up pretty well for us. We use it a lot. Something I really like about this is it cools off really quick. So once you stop fueling it, it actually does not take that long for it to cool off enough for you to empty the ash out, say, or into a container, or if you've got a fire pit you're not using or whatever, you can empty out the ash or leave it in, put it back in your pouch, and put it in your bag and keep walking. So, that being said, I'm just going to slow down my boiling process. Another great thing about this is, if you're worried about the heat of the stove, obviously up around here is hot. I'll just demonstrate for you. I'm not actually going to pick it up, but I am actually touching the bottom of the stove. Oh. Yeah, I am going to pick it up. So even though it's all steel, you can pick it up. I wouldn't recommend it. It is actually starting to, where I had my fingers over the holes, starting to heat up. I just wanted to demonstrate that once you stop feeding it, it will cool down very quickly for you to pack it up. So we'll put my water back on. I don't know if you can hear that, but I can hear it starting to boil. So I like to use this for boiling water and cooking. So I'll put containers like this on, or my steel mess kits, or even aluminum. I usually use steel. And it's a pretty handy, pretty compact one. Solo Stove makes a variety of models. This is the smallest one, I believe, is just the Solo Stove. And we have a few after that get bigger as they go. So I'm hoping that answers any questions you might have. And just to illustrate that, I find it so reliable, I've taken it into national and provincial parks, and I've used a hatchet and split up the wood that they provide into small pieces. So even if you don't want to bother with a full campfire, but you're in some place like Kejimkujik, and you can have a fire, but you just want to stop and have a meal or a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, you can use the wood that they provide, process it up, and actually it burns really well. Or you can use twigs if you're not in a park that doesn't want you using twigs. So all in all, I find it a pretty compact and durable design. We've got it at a rolling boil, so I could hold it there and purify it. But yeah, all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. So hopefully this answers some questions if you have any, or talking about how I like this stove. So if you like this video, please click like and subscribe and comment down below. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.